step out of a subway station through the first exit you find, turn right because it seems like the right direction, walk half a block, and something feels off. The shops aren't the ones you expected. The street has a name that means nothing to you. You check your phone and the map keeps spinning, recalculating, never quite loading. In that one moment, with no drama and no disaster, you stopped knowing where you are. Getting lost in a city is far more common than people admit. You don't need to be in a foreign country or a sketchy neighborhood. It can happen in your own city, in an area you sort of recognize, on an ordinary afternoon. Fatigue loosens your attention. Rushing puts you on autopilot. GPS creates a dependency so quiet that when it fails, your brain has no backup plan. And then that uncomfortable feeling kicks in. You don't know exactly where you are, and you don't know which way to go. The first thing to understand is that feeling of disorientation isn't dangerous on its own. What can make things worse is what you do in the first few minutes. The most common mistake is to keep walking. Anxiety pushes you to move, to do something, to not just stand there. But moving without a clear direction can take you even further from familiar ground, pull you into quieter streets, or drain your battery and your time without any real benefit. The first useful decision isn't to move. It's to stop. Find a visible spot with people around and give yourself 30 seconds to look around. That's it. Before you pull out your phone, before you ask anyone, before you decide which way to go. 30 seconds of active observation are worth more than 5 minutes of walking in the wrong direction. Once you've stopped, the goal is to find your bearings. Cities are full of information that doesn't depend on any signal or any battery. Street signs have names. Buildings have numbers. Main avenues tend to be wider, busier, lined with more businesses and bigger signs. If there's a transit stop nearby, there are almost always street signs pointing toward it. Pharmacies have green crosses visible from a distance. Supermarkets and chain stores are recognizable landmarks. Even the flow of people can give you something. If there's a steady stream of pedestrians moving in one direction, they're probably heading toward somewhere important. Street numbering helps too. In many cities, numbers increase or decrease in a consistent pattern, and that lets you figure out which direction to move to get back to familiar territory. Traffic flow can tell you whether a street runs parallel or perpendicular to a main avenue. Tall buildings, communication towers, domes, or any visible structure that can be seen from multiple points can work as orientation markers even if you don't know exactly what they are. If your phone is still working, even with low battery, use it wisely. Turn on battery saver mode before doing anything else. Check if you have any offline maps downloaded. Look for screenshots you may have saved of your destination or your accommodation. If you have mobile data, a quick location check uses far less power than keeping the map running for several minutes straight. And if you have to choose between using your data to navigate or making a phone call, the call is often more efficient. Someone you trust can give you clear directions faster than you can navigate with a map. When there's no internet, the situation isn't all that different from what it was 20 years ago. Phone calls still work without data. Text messages do too. Plenty of businesses offer free Wi-Fi to customers, and in many cities, transit stations or public squares have open connections. Any of those options can help you get your bearings quickly. Asking for help is a valid move, but it's worth being a little thoughtful about it. There's a real difference between stopping someone on the street who's clearly in a hurry and walking into a pharmacy, a small shop, or a gas station and asking the staff. Places with employees who work there tend to have a strong sense of the neighborhood. They're not going anywhere, they know the area, and they have no reason to point you wrong. At a transit station, the staff are trained for exactly this kind of situation. At a hotel, Even if you're not a guest, the front desk will usually help without hesitation. If you're asking someone on the street, choose wisely. Someone standing still looking at a storefront, a person carrying grocery bags, a couple with kids, a street vendor who's been set up on that same corner for years. There's no absolute rule, but basic instinct works. People who are actively doing something in that space usually know it well. And under no circumstances should you hand your unlocked phone to a stranger so they can show you the way. Ask them to give you verbal directions or point with their hand. When things get more complicated because it's nighttime, it's raining, the area feels empty, or something about your surroundings is making you uncomfortable, the goal shifts. It's no longer about reaching your original destination. It's about getting to a safer place first. An open store, a transit station, a gas station, a supermarket, any space with lighting, people, and visible staff. From there, you can think more clearly. Charge your phone if there's an option. Ask for directions, or wait for the situation to improve. Moving towards safety before moving toward your destination is always the right call. There's something worth mentioning as a habit to build before you even leave the house, because the best way to handle disorientation is to reduce the chances of it getting complicated in the first place. Before heading out, especially to unfamiliar areas, write down or save the address of your destination and your starting point. Not in a map app, but in your notes, on paper, or in a message you send to yourself. Make sure your phone is charged before you leave, or carry a small portable battery. If you're traveling with other people, agree on a simple meeting point in case you get separated. Something specific and easy to remember. The main entrance of the station. The shop on the corner with the recognizable sign. The plaza in the center of town. And if there are transit maps available, whether printed or downloadable, keeping one handy costs almost nothing and can make a real difference. Getting lost in a city has a particular quality to it. It's usually not a problem of information. The city has information everywhere. It's a problem of attention. When your mental map breaks down, what you need isn't more technology. It's more observation. Streets have names. Buildings have numbers. People know their neighborhoods. Transit lines have routes. All of that existed before GPS, and it's still there when GPS stops working. Finding your way starts the moment you stop moving out of anxiety and start reading what the city is already showing you. An unfamiliar street isn't a dead end. It's a starting point, and from there, with a little calm and a little attention, you can always find the next safe step forward.